Imagine that you and your partner are going to an important event. You want to wear black shoes, but your partner insists on brown ones. The question arises, how to find a compromise? Many people think that the best solution is mutual benefit, but does it really work? Imagine putting one black shoe on one foot and one brown shoe on the other. It sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? Chris Voss, author of the New York Times bestseller, the book No Compromise. Negotiate as if your life depends on them. I am convinced that compromises often lead to unsatisfactory results for both sides. He offers a different approach to negotiations based on years of experience working for the FBI, where he had to negotiate with terrorists and kidnappers. This experience taught him universal principles that can be applied in any area of life, from business to personal relationships. The basics of negotiation are, in fact, universal and do not depend on age, gender, or race. The principles on which negotiations with terrorists are conducted are the same as in business negotiations. Every day we face the need to negotiate, whether it's to persuade the children to go to bed early or convince a friend to go to another restaurant. Our whole life is a continuous negotiation, and Chris Voss emphasizes that this is not just a choice between two options. Real negotiations are about finding a third way that will satisfy both sides. Imagine that two children are arguing over chocolate and cannot share it. No matter how you cut it, everyone will be sure that the other got more. And here, the third option comes to the rescue. Offer one child to share the chocolate and the second one to choose his share first. In this video, we will talk about the key ideas of this book that underlie all negotiations. Chapter 1. The Universal Law of Negotiation. Chris Voss argues that the basis of any negotiation is understanding and respect. People want to be heard and taken seriously. It seems simple, but in practice, many of us do not know how to listen. We often do not hear what our interlocutor is saying because we are busy formulating our own answer. This leads to people feeling ignored and starting to raise their voices to be heard. In every dialogue, people want three things. First, they want to be understood. Secondly, they want respect. And only last of all, they strive to get what they want. If you can listen and really understand what's important to the other side, you've already half won the negotiations. Chapter 2. Negotiations as a process of clarification. Chris Voss sees negotiations not as a battle, but as a process of figuring out the true needs of the other side. He offers several simple but effective tactics that help make negotiations productive. Smile. It may seem like a small thing, but a smile can instantly change the atmosphere of negotiations. It helps to reduce tension and set up both sides in a more positive way. When we are in a good mood, our brain works 31% more efficiently. At the same time, a bad mood makes us less savvy and slows down our thinking. Tactics of reflection. This is another powerful tool that Chris Voss offers. The essence of this tactic is to repeat the last few words spoken by your interlocutor. For example, if your opponent says, "I expect better results and better profits," you can answer, "Do you want better results and better profits?" This simple technique helps your interlocutor feel that he is being heard and encourages him to share additional information. After repeating what has been said, just freeze for 4 seconds and let the magic of reflection manifest. Chapter 3. Tactical engagement. To conduct successful negotiations, it is important to understand not only the words, but also the emotions of your interlocutor. Chris Voss advises using a tactical engagement technique that involves understanding and reflecting the emotional state of the other party. The designation of emotions. This is one of the key techniques in the negotiator's arsenal. You can start with phrases like, "It seems that you feel," or "It seems that this is causing you anxiety." These phrases help your interlocutor understand that you understand his feelings and moods. This tactic has two important advantages at once. First, it helps to confirm that you have correctly caught the emotional mood of the other party. And secondly, it shows your opponent that you really understand him. It strengthens the bond between you. Your opponent starts to like you. If a person likes you, the chances of agreeing with them are 6 times higher. Dispelling the negativity. Sometimes your opponent may be set against you. Instead of ignoring it, it's better to acknowledge his feelings. For example, if your client is unhappy with the delay in completing a project, you can start a conversation with the phrase, "We understand that you are disappointed with the delay, and this is quite justified." This relieves tension and allows you to move on to a constructive dialogue. This technique is especially effective when you are sure that the other party has negative feelings and discontent towards you. Before you go to negotiations, try to think about possible accusations and complaints that your opponent may make during the meeting. Having identified all the negative aspects, identify them. For example, let's say that your client is very unhappy that your company did not meet deadlines and did not fulfill its obligations. In this situation, your client may consider you unreliable and unable to fulfill their promises. At the beginning of the meeting, you can dispel this negativity by saying something like, "Maybe you think we let you down and couldn't keep our word. You have reason to believe so, and this may make you think about ending our cooperation." As soon as you say that, your opponent may think, "Wow, he really understands my point of view. I'm even starting to like him." If you don't dispel negative emotions, your opponent will continue to explain how badly you treated him. However, when you voice these negative feelings in advance, your interlocutor will start looking for a solution to a joint problem rather than focusing on their complaints. Negative emotions and fears have a much stronger effect on our perception than positive thoughts, so help your opponent get rid of the negativity. This will lead to more productive interaction and better results for both sides. Chapter 4. Start with no. One of the paradoxes that Chris Voss highlights is that no is not the end of negotiations, but their beginning. People are often afraid to hear no, thinking that it means failure, but in fact, no allows the parties to feel in control of the situation and not feel cornered. When a person says no, he feels free from obligations and open to further discussion. This may sound unexpected, but no gives you the opportunity to continue the dialogue and find a more creative solution to the problem. Striving to hear yes rarely leads to success. In fact, no may be the beginning of negotiations, not the end of them. When you say yes to an offer, you may feel committed or even trapped. Imagine that I come up to you and ask, "Do you have 5 minutes to talk?" If you agree, you immediately start thinking, "How long will this conversation actually last? Won't I be with him for an hour and go home later? Will he try to sell me his strange idea again?" Such thoughts distract you and prevent you from focusing on the essence of the negotiations, making you want to leave as soon as possible. Now imagine that I ask you a question in a different way. Now is not the right time to talk for 5 minutes, is it? Most likely, you will answer, "No, it is not. Let me finish a few things, and we'll meet in 15 minutes in my office." Starting a conversation with a question that can be answered in the negative, you do not feel trapped because you did not give consent to something. The answer, "no," gives you control over the situation because you yourself suggested when and where to meet. A sense of control allows you to make decisions faster and focus on negotiations without being distracted by unnecessary thoughts. Moreover, when you say no, you have already answered two important questions. I do not need to specify the meeting place, and I easily got what I wanted. Chapter 5. That's for sure. The phrase, "that's for sure," is one of the most important signals in negotiations. If your interlocutor says, "that's for sure," it means that he feels heard and is ready to agree with you. This is a powerful indicator that you are on the right track and ready to make a deal. However, it is important to distinguish between "this is for sure" and "you are right." When a person says "you're right," they probably just want to end the conversation. This means that he does not feel heard or interested in continuing the dialogue. Negotiation is an art that can be mastered using simple but effective techniques. Chris Voss taught us that the key to successful negotiations is understanding, respect, and listening skills. Use a smile, don't be afraid to hear no, and try to reach the moment when your interlocutor says, "that's for sure." These simple principles will help you succeed in both personal and business negotiations. If you want to learn more about how to apply these principles in life, do not forget to subscribe to our channel. We regularly share useful tips and interesting stories that will help you develop and reach new heights. Please like this video if it was useful to you, and do not forget to click on the bell so as not to miss new releases. Write in the comments which tactics from Chris Voss's book you found the most interesting and how you are going to apply them in your life. Your opinion is very important to us, and we look forward to your comments. Thank you for being with us, and see you in the next video.